That is a good question. I don't even know how to put it. I was angry at my mom, my sister, because I was actually sick, and I couldn't talk to my mom. I was a dare that I went to get a mammogram. Actually, I was living in housing, and they were giving out ShopRite cards, $100 ShopRite cards. And I had the food, so I'm like, oh, I'll go get it. And they were asking us questions like, did you get a mammogram? Did you this and that? And I was like, no, I've never had a mammogram. I came back like a couple days later to get my card. And as I'm signing for my card, the doctor calls me.
So I guess at that point, you kind of started being rebellious. You started running away. Did anything like happen or anything like that when you ran away? Was there any type of traumatic stuff that happened during those years?
Oh, yeah. um, I
What's up, YouTube? The B-side is monetized. I really appreciate that. Go check it out right now if you haven't. Those videos are lit. And make sure you check me out on Instagram at Marcus the Interviewer. Now back to the content.
Hey, how you doing?
I don't know. I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I actually had a pretty busy day today, so I just
I
got done with a
understand.
bar crawl with my Jeep, my Jeep crew or whatever. So that's why I had to come home and kind of relax for a little bit before we did this. But
Yeah,
how you doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm doing better today.
Awesome,
Actually, I went
awesome.
out, went to church, and then we had a birthday celebration for my pastor and my niece. So
Okay,
I
all
came
right.
in and actually I did the same thing,
Cool,
relaxed
cool.
and chilled out, took a little nap before,
Sounds
I came
perfect. Sounds
in.
perfect. All right, so you reached out to me, and you just kind of wanted to tell your story about what was going on. Let me take a look real quick, if you don't mind. Give me 1 second. All right, all right. So yeah, so let's just start off real quick. So, are you currently homeless?
Okay, so what it is that this is not mine. I went to social services about a couple years ago. I've been dealing with homelessness on and off since I was like 16. But I went to social
And how old
services
do you
a
how old
couple.
do you now, by the way?
I'm 47.
Okay, great.
So I went to social services a couple years ago. As a matter of fact, it was my birthday. I went, and they put me in a hotel room. Um, I basically was going through chemo at that time.
You
So
said
like,
chemo,
yes, sir.
like cancer?
Yes, sir.
Oh wow, where do you have cancer at?
Okay, so it started in my breast. It went from my breast. After they took my breast, it came back in the same area where it was, but it attached to my bone. Then they removed that, and then it went under my arm to my lymph node. They removed that, and it came back on a little bit on the right side, and then it just went.
Few,
Straight away.
meaning it went away or it went
No,
crazy.
it's like it's basically everywhere. Like I have it like on
Oh,
like my back, like my backside. Um, I just had a hysterectomy on Monday. Monday. I
wow.
just went through a hysterectomy. Yes, sir. I'm like, so they took my breast, my butt's going. I have no female organs. I'm like a penis away from being a boy. So
Wow. Wow. I'm really sorry to hear that.
it's okay.
I get
Okay.
it. I get it. Wow, that's wow. Okay, so all right, so okay. So currently you are or no as far
Well,
as
so
homeless.
they put me under transitional housing. I don't know if you know what that means, but I'm in like a shelter. Like they put me in a hotel for right now. They had me in an apartment, but I was there for like a year, and then they found out the water was contaminated, so they had to hurry up and get me out of there, and they put me
Where are
in
you
here.
located, by the way?
I'm in Jersey.
In Jersey. Okay,
Yes,
Jersey,
sir.
Jersey, Jersey. Okay, okay. What part of New Jersey?
I'm in Burlington
Burlington?
County.
Burlington, New
Yes,
Jersey.
yes, sir.
Man, shout out that Burlington, New Jersey, man. Definitely shout it out all day. Okay, okay. Man, I can't remember the city that I trained in New Jersey. It was I cannot remember, but I had this job where I used to sell slicers and it was the thing. But long story short, shout out to Jersey, man. All right. So okay. So you say that you've been in and out of homelessness since 16?
Yeah, well, Yeah, I used to run away. Well, okay, so
So
at the age of 14,
let's do this real quick. Do you have any kids?
that's what I was about to say. So I had my first son at 14. Um, my dad and my mom took custody of him because at that age, back then, you couldn't get any kind of services, and I was still in school. I was like a freshman in high school.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to like after that, I used to like run away and like just I became wild. And my mom used to tell me like, "You can't drive my rules, just get out." So I took that as like, okay, I'm getting out. Plus we really never got along.
Just so I can get the logistics out the way though. How many kids do you have total?
I have three.
Three. And so the first one you had at 14, so he's probably around 33 or so.
He's 32.
32. Okay. And so
Yes.
how old are the other two?
My daughter's 28, and
Okay.
my son would be 20 in June. I mean
20 in
21
June,
in June. I'm sorry,
21 in June.
21 in June.
Okay.
Yes,
Got you. Okay. Okay. And different dads or the same dad?
different dads.
Okay. All right. Have you ever been married?
No, I don't want
No.
no problems.
Okay, I got you. All right, so yeah, so let's just start from the beginning. So where you from?
I'm from Burlington, New Jersey. Well, I'm from Pemberton, New Jersey, Burlington County.
Okay, man, shout out New Jersey again for sure. And so growing up in New Jersey, did you have both mom and dad in the household?
Well, I had mom and stepdad. Well, he's my dad. He's the only dad I've known. I never met my real dad.
Okay,
So
so do you have siblings, brothers and sisters?
I do. I have two older sisters and I have a younger brother.
Okay. The two older sisters, do y'all share a dad?
No,
No? Okay.
they share a dad. They share a dad. I have my own dad, and then my younger brother has
Your
my dad, who I
stepdad.
call my
Right,
dad.
right. I got you. Okay. And so, I mean, having a kid at 14, I guess I'm gonna ask, growing up, would you say you had a fairly normal childhood?
Yeah. Well, no, not really. I wouldn't say normal. Um,
Tell me
I had
about
two
it.
parents. I mean, like I had two parents. I was an angry kid. So
What was you
um,
angry about?
ooh, that is a good question. I don't even know how to put it. I was angry at my mom, my sister, because I was actually molested, and I couldn't talk to my mom. My mom's like real church minister type, and I was angry because I felt like I wasn't protected,
Mm.
and
What age did the molestation occur?
it started at 9,
And went
and
until what age?
it went on to like I think I was like 11,
11. And
12, something
what
like
are we
that.
what type of what type of molestation are we talking about? Are we talking about, kind of touching and inappropriate, or are we talking about
Well,
the full
okay,
thing?
it was my mom, the hairdresser, and then it was actually my sister's husband, and yeah, and when I used to pray to God that like it would stop, and then one day he came in my room and the picture on the wall fell off. So my mom came in there and he tried to hide, but when she came in there, she was like, no questions asked. She just started swinging, and I just felt like why am I getting in trouble? Like I'm like why am I getting that right there?
Wait. No questions asked. She started swinging on
No
you,
questions asked. No questions asked. She just started swinging on everybody. She just went crazy.
including you.
Yeah, including me. She thought, well, in her head, she thought that I was this promiscuous girl, and I actually wasn't. Like, I really wasn't. I wasn't doing anything that a normal kid wouldn't do. Um, but in her eyesight, like, because I have a smart mouth, I basically say what I want, and I've always been that way. I ask questions, and if you tell me something, I'm not going to take your word for it. I'm gonna find out my own way, and that was how I was always, always been.
Well, I mean,
But
was
like.
that the situation when it comes to the molestation though, where you like kind of
No, it wasn't. It was just that she just always thought that in her head, I don't know why, or how she felt about it, but like she just, I don't know why she started swinging, but like my, if at that point, like my queen that I felt like would protect me didn't, and I became really, really, really angry, and
Yeah, I mean, because
everything
like,
she said did.
what was the sister's husband? So first of all,
Well, yeah,
how? Because like, how often would he be doing this?
every time, every time they would leave, um, late nights when they go to sleep, he'll like creep into my room. Um,
And are we talking about like the full thing?
no, not penetration. No, no, not penetration. He'll like touch me, like play with me. Um, my dad used to tickle me, and he would come in and try to tickle me. I hate being tickled today because my dad, like, it just does something to me. Like, I just flash back to that. I just don't like to be tickled anymore. Um, but he told my sister it was consensual. I'm sitting there like, "Hey, you believed?" I'm like, "I'm 11."
How
Like,
old was he at the time?
well, I know what they were. My sister and him were married, so I don't know. I know he was in the military. I don't remember how old he was at that time.
Mm. And so your mom came in and just started swinging on everybody.
Started swinging
What
on
did
everybody.
she what was her response to him?
She stalked on him too. But my sister stayed. You know, they stayed. I had no understanding why they let him stay, but that's when I became like rebellious. Like I would do the opposite of anything they said do, just because they said do it. It was just
Mm.
it could be good for me. It could be,
No, I
but because you said
understand.
like
I
I just
understand.
became
I
that
mean,
angry.
that sounds like a very traumatic situation because ultimately, like you say, that's the person in charge of protecting and providing for you. And instead of protecting you, they punish you for being a victim.
Now, don't get me wrong. Like my mother today, that's like my best friend, one of my best friends. I love her. Like
Well, I get
we
that. I
even,
mean, have you guys talked about the
oh,
stuff that happened when
of
you was
course,
younger?
of course.
What's
That
her
was
response to it now?
um, she didn't realize, like, and I didn't realize the cycle of being a parent, like, until I was a parent. Because somebody has to break the cycle. But it wasn't until I seen like her interaction with my grandmother that I actually understood. When I got older, I seen the interaction with my grandmother that I understood, like
Right, but I
exactly.
mean, I get the desire and of course the necessity to have a great relationship with your mom. And if you guys have moved past that, that's amazing. But I mean, are you kind of trying to like defend her right now instead of just saying,
No, I'm
well,
not defending her. Like I'm not
she kind of
defending her.
messed
And
up
like
and she didn't do the right
it's like yeah,
thing?
because I
Has that
wasn't the best parent.
accountability conversation been had?
It's like parents do not come with a parent book. They don't come with a manual. I'm not a great parent. I've done really messed up things with my children. You know, and the fact that they were able to forgive me, you know what I mean? Like that takes a lot. You know,
I get it, but I guess I'm just trying to figure out, did y'all have that conversation and was it substantial? In other words, is
she
the
kind of
is the
she
healing
didn't want to believe it.
is the
That's
is,
the thing.
go ahead.
She didn't want to believe it. Like she kind of knew, but it's like she didn't want to believe it. Um,
Still to this day?
no, she believes it now. That's why it was like I had to you know speak upon it, like, and let her like really understand. But like now she understands and she believes it,
Okay. So
and
so
she's apologetic. Um, and I don't like I'm not the type of person where I'm not gonna when I forgive, I forgive.
right, you're not gonna hold the
It's,
grudge
yeah.
forever. I get it.
I'm
I
not.
get
I'm
it.
not. I'm not.
I mean,
And
especially if you say, you've had your,
oh,
dealings with
have I?
bad
Oh, have I?
parenting and stuff like that. So let's talk about some of that. So okay, so at a certain so I guess at that point, you kind of started being rebellious, you started running away. Did anything like happen or anything like that when you ran away? Was there any type of traumatic stuff that happened during those years?
Oh, yeah. um, I I was by this guy that I felt was a friend of mine. Um, I started smoking crack cocaine at the age of 18. I had strokes. I had a stroke at the age of 20. That's my first stroke.
Mm.
Um,
When did
it
the
was
incident happen that you're talking about? How old were you at that point?
when I got a friend of mine.
Hmm.
I was I was 19, I believe. 17. No, 17. I was 17 because I didn't start doing drugs yet. So
How did
I
you
think
end
I
up
was
getting
17.
R word? How did that end up happening?
What?
That you end up getting raped. How did that happen?
He was a friend of mine. I thought he was a friend of mine. Um, I guess he thought I was being flirtatious and I wasn't. Well, I didn't think I was. And he tried it and I said no and he said he was gonna do it anyway, I guess. That's
Where were y'all at?
at my sister's.
At your sister's house, the same one that is married.
No,
Okay,
I have two older sisters.
so the other sister, I got you.
Older sisters.
So you was at your sister's house, and was nobody else home or anything like that?
No, I used to get paid to babysit. So they would go my sister would go out with her friends and I would babysit. I would have my then she would go because when I ran away, I would basically go to my sister's house. I didn't call it running away. Like that's how I justified it. So I would go to her house. Um and she would allow me to have, you know, friends over. So that's what I did. And
Well, I mean,
I had a friend over.
right, and I get that. Like, I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to victim blame or anything like that. But it sounds like you called him over for kind of like,
No, I called him over
I mean,
because like
looking back
that's what
on it,
but
right?
no, no, no. I called him well, I could see that, but I called him over because like he was a friend of mine. And that's what we would always do. We just he would come over and chill with me
So
while I
y'all had
babysat.
done that before, to where he would come over
Yeah,
while you was
yeah, of
babysitting.
course.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay, I get it, I get it. Did you did you have any dealings with that guy after that?
No. Nope.
Did you ever tell anybody that it happened?
No, like why would I? I always get in trouble for it. So I just like left it alone.
Mm, okay, okay, I get that. Okay. And so I guess at this point you had one child.
At that time, yes, I only have one child. I had one child.
Okay. And so, did you like end up going to high school and stuff like that?
Well, when I had my son, I was a freshman. I dropped out of school my 12th grade year, about 3 months left into school.
Why?
And because my mom told me I had to go to the military, and I told her I wasn't doing nothing if I didn't want to do what I wanted to do.
But I mean, if you made it all the way that far, you'd already had a kid and everything. Why not finish out?
Because she was telling me I had to do one thing, and I didn't want to do it. So I said, basically, if I don't do what I want to do, then I'm not doing nothing.
Why was she telling you that you had to go to the military?
Well, I mean, looking back, it probably would have been the best thing for me because I had a son.
Well, yeah,
And
I
then
mean,
in high
right,
school,
right. We can look
in
back
high
in that,
school,
but what was her reasoning? Is that was her
in high
reasoning
school,
basically?
no, in high school, I had RLT. I did RLTC, and I did RLTC for 4 years. And if I would have went into the military, I would have went already in with rank, and I would have been able to get benefits for my son, and I've been able to, do different things. But that wasn't what I wanted to do. Not knowing that I could have did what I wanted to do in the military, but because I feel like she was telling me what to do, um, I just said forget it.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, it was already kind of embedded in your system that anything they tell you to do, you're going to
Anything
do
she
the
says, no.
opposite.
Absolutely.
Okay. So, all right. And so okay. Stroke at 20, drug use started at 18. What was the 20s and 30s kind of like? Because it sounds like you was maybe in the middle of your addiction at that point.
Okay, so 18, I went to I basically was in and out of rehabs all down the street. I couldn't come home. I couldn't see my kids. Um, in and out of jail. It's like,
What was you going to jail for?
ooh, well, better question. What didn't I go to jail for? I have I had 8 felonies and 53 misdemeanors.
Okay. I
So
mean, what was
it's
the
been
worst one?
the worst one was manufacturing distribution,
Okay. What drugs was it?
crack cocaine.
Okay. 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 All right. And so, what was, I guess, what would you say if you had to give anybody a warning, right? What was the worst thing that happened during that time period?
Um, I lost my aunt and my grandmother. I was in jail. I lost my aunt in jail and couldn't go to see her. Um, I had my worst time period was actually getting high with my son. I was pregnant with my son, and
You're talking
actually,
about your second or third son?
youngest, my third son.
Third son.
Yes, I actually used while I was pregnant with him, and he almost didn't make it. He was 2 pounds 12 ounces. So luckily, I had you know family that did stuff up and take him. So
So I mean, essentially, did you raise any of your kids?
no, gave my
No.
daughter up for adoption. No.
And
Am I in
so
their life now? Is yes, I am now.
you say
But
you, you say you say that you have a relationship with them now.
yes, sir.
What is what are their thoughts on that whole time period, or just the fact that you wasn't there? What are their thoughts on that?
So I actually kind of was there. Like my mom would try to tell us that we couldn't see each other, and I used to come and we used to sneak and see each other. So
Well, I
she
get
used to
that,
always
but
try
I
to
mean, that's still minimal. That's
like
still not
he doesn't like
raising,
see he's
them.
that's my son's the way I was though. Like he forgave me. Like and like that's my when I say that's my ride or die, that's my ride or die.
You're talking about the
You
oldest
know,
son?
the oldest son.
Mhm.
My daughter is I don't really kind of talk to her. And my youngest son, that's my little dude.
Why don't you talk to your
Mhm.
daughter?
I guess she's still angry. I don't blame her. She's still angry.
So, I mean, right. Like, have you not like kind of had the accountability conversation with her and
I have, and I mean like we'll like conversate like she'll call me and be like mom this, mom that, or mom but as consistent as me and my sons are, it's not like that. She'll probably call me once every 3 months, or I talk to her once every something like that. But
hmm,
it's not like my sons and I and my grandson. It's not like the same thing.
do you want it to be like that?
I would love that. I mean, like I've always wanted a girl, so like of course I would want that. I would love that.
So
But
what would you say is her thing that she wants to hear from you as far as anything, accountability or just, whatever.
absolutely,
Like
I don't.
what
I
does
could
she
say
what
I
does she want to
apologize.
hear from you?
I mean, I could say I apologize, and I mean, like I've said that, so I couldn't answer that question because I don't know what she wants
Does
to
does
hear.
she want like a more kind of fleshed out explanation or like, kind of a more
I
thorough understanding of what was going on during that time period?
I've given her that. Any question she asks me, I'm very. One thing about me is I'm very honest and open with anything that I've done or do. You know, um, you go hold me accountable of my past. That's okay. I don't live there no more. Take it and run. I don't care.
I
Like
know
I don't
that's right.
regret. I don't regret like the things that I've went through. Absolutely not. So um,
I get it. I
I
get it. So
I I've I've apologized. If I wouldn't say if I could change things, I would because that means we would change is the ripple effect and other
yeah, I
things
get
are
it. I
changing.
get it. Right, right.
So like
No, Chuck, I get that.
I just would probably go in with a different aspect and a different, you know, third eye. Like,
I get it. I
I'll
mean,
go
one
in
of the
differently.
things that we do on this channel is we have conversations with people when they're not right in front of us, right? And it sounds like you've had the conversation, but maybe it's worth it to just, have
Try.
it publicly, right? So, what would you want her to know if she would happen to come across this video on YouTube? What would you want her to know?
I would love for her to know that I am truly sorry. Like, I'm not gonna play the victim. Everything that happens, I play a part in it, and that I do love her with all my heart. And I wish we could just, talk more and, have that mother-daughter relationship.
I get it. I mean, especially with you having these cancer diagnoses and everything else, you never know. You never know what day or what hour it'll be.
Absolutely not.
And so let me, what age did the first cancer diagnosis occur?
Whew. They didn't show up. It started, the first cancer diagnosis was in 2018. I was actually, it was the last semester of college because I decided to go back to school.
Mm-hmm.
Um, during finals, I was a dare that I went in to get a mammogram. Actually, I had went through rehab in Newark, New Jersey, Integrity House,
Mm-hmm.
and I went through there, and I was living in housing, and they were giving out ShopRite cards, $100 ShopRite cards, and I had no food, so I'm like, oh, I'll go get it. And they were asking us questions like, did you get a mammogram? Did you this and that? And I was like, no, I've never had a mammogram. And the lady told me I couldn't get my card until I got a mammogram. So I told her, forget it. I wasn't going. Like I had too much to do. Like I was, I couldn't. So she was like, well, she had another lady come talk to me and just like, go get it, go get it. And I went and got it. And I came back like a couple days later to get my card. And as I'm signing for my card, the doctor calls me and tells me I have to come back in because they see something. So I'm like, what the freak? I'm not going. I'm like, I'm not going back in here. And I go to like, I called my mom. My mom was like, listen, because at that time I was a size 44 double D. So I'm like, I'm not going back in there. Like my mom was like, you just got big boobs. It could be fatty tissue. Just go and see. So I'm like, okay, I'll go in there. I'm all, optimistic. Oh, it's just fatty tissue. I've got this. And the lady looked at me. She goes, where did you have it from? I said, that's what's that be going on because I have big boobs. The lady goes, no, we're way beyond that. She goes, the doctor sees something, but we just don't know what it is. And when she goes, look, I turned around and I looked at the screen and it looked like my breast had swallowed a golf ball. It's like that big sitting in my breast. And I was like, what the freak? So they were like, we got to give you a biopsy and all this thing. So I went and got that done and come to find out that it was cancer. So I went to school. I told my professors that I had to quit because I had to get surgery ASAP. And they were like, no, you're not. They passed me because I was on the dean's list every semester. They passed me. I didn't have to do the finals. Told me to go take care of myself. And then I decided I was just in my left course. But at that time, I told them to take the other course because I was going through school. I went to go to school to be a social worker. And I was going through school and I really had big plans. I really was trying to do something. planned on having my own organization and helping people. And I didn't want 10 years down the line to come down and it came back. So I
Right.
was just like, take both. So that's what they did I was supposed to get reconstruction. And I went in to get the reconstruction done. And I was feeling fine. Like a month later, I couldn't move my arm. And it's like the stuff was leaking out my breast, and I went to the doctor, and he squeezed my breast, and all this stuff was coming out, and he tells me it's better on the floor than in your body. So I'm like, okay. Um, about a couple of weeks later, I went septic, and I had a blood infection throughout my body, and I almost died.
Wow. And that's because of the breast reconstruction?
That was because, yeah, Doctor Diatis Duque does not know what he's doing. 3 years later, he
Wow.
killed somebody. So,
Wow.
hey, I would put
Wow.
him on blast. Yeah, he would definitely
Mm,
go on blast.
okay.
Now him, I haven't forget. I forgive a lot of people about things, but that one I cannot
What's
forgive
his
him.
name? Doctor who?
Dr. Theadis Kukwe. He's
Mm,
not allowed to practice so far. From what I hear, he's not allowed to practice no more. He
mm,
literally killed somebody like later on with the same doing the same thing. So,
mm. Oh man, that's crazy, man. Oh wow. So okay, so at this
so I
point,
wasn't able to get. So then I go back to school. Um, well, I get better. About 2 years pass. I'm getting better. Um, I decided to go back to school, get my bachelor's. And like 2 months into that, I found out my cancer came back. So I had to stop.
mm. And so I guess that's what we've been kind of dealing with, since then type deal.
Yep. So I was in Newark at that time. Um, so I decided because when I was telling the lady, I had got the weight loss surgery. Um, I was like almost 300 pounds. So I decided to go get the sleeve surgery. And when I was losing weight so fast, I um I asked them, can I like what was going on? Could I get a scan? And the lady told me it was nothing. It was my bones. The doctor told me it was my bones. And I went somewhere else. Comes out my cancer came back. So
Mm,
that's when I moved to Burlington County because medical care out there sucks.
mm. Wow. Okay. Wow, that's a lot, man. That's a lot. Definitely sorry to hear about your cancer and everything. I hope it goes into remission. Okay, I definitely hope that. All right. Well, listen, I mean, if anybody out there wanted to reach out, help, or donate, do you have a way they could do that? Do you have social media, Cash App, anything like that?
Yeah, I do have Cash App.
Okay,
It's
shout it out.
$ TRUSTNODOY, sorry, 76. That's $, Nobody 76.
Okay, trust nobody 76. You got IG or Facebook?
I do.
What you got?
I do. Um, my Facebook is CC Writer.
CC Ryder? How you spell that?
That's CC
Mm-hmm.
RYER. Charlotte
RYER?
Golden. If you look up Charlotte Golden, it'll come up CC Writer.
Okay, Charlotte Golden.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
And my IG is good as gold.
good as gold. Okay, all right, all right. We're gonna check you out. Yeah, I mean, we definitely appreciate you
And I got
taking the
TikTok
time.
too.
Oh Lord, what's your TikTok?
CC Rider 76. Now y'all got to get on my TikToks now. Oh, now, yes.
Y'all better go tap in with her on TikTok. Y'all make sure y'all go tap in. So, all right. Well, like I say, we really appreciate you taking the time answering all of our questions, and we definitely wish you nothing but the best.
All right. Can I say this? I am trying to get a YouTube, my YouTube up, and that's just to help like people in my situation get like with the resources and like not with the resources, but like to let them know like some things like we all go through the same thing,
Right. Just give them,
like
giving them kind of
just give them a little
inspiration
strength and a
and
little hope. Like,
right,
yeah,
right.
like
Yeah, I ain't mad at that.
I've been through
I mean, do
addiction,
you
mental
have a
health.
YouTube channel up already?
I did start. I do
What's
have
the
it
name
up.
of it?
It's Charlotte Golden.
Charlotte Golden. Okay.
Unapologetic $ not $ at unapologetically real
Okay. Awesome, man.
22.
We got it. We got it. So, like I say, definitely appreciate you. All right.
Thank you,
And
Marcus.
definitely wish y'all nothing but the best, okay?
All right, thank you so much.
Make sure you
God
have a good
bless
one,
you.
sweetie. You know
Bye
it.
bye.